All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's see here. Okay, good afternoon. And we normally do not stream on Sundays, but we figured, what the heck? Let's take a look at what's going on with some things and see. Whoops. Let me come back over here. There we go. Line that up. There we go. Make sure those are lined up. I'm on the wrong screen. All right. Take a quick look here. So AMC to the moon. We're going to take a look at some things about AMC, and we had some news out on Friday that AMC is going to open up theaters on Monday. So on Monday, they're going to open up theaters. And so that's some really, really good news for them. And of course, we like AMC. Oh, hold on a second. Let's see if I can get this up. There we go. All right. So AMC, world's largest theater chain, cinema operator, will start reopening its Los Angeles locations, starting with 2 theaters on Monday, the company said in a statement on Friday. So that's certainly some good news there. And we are going to wait for, let's see here, 5 o'clock. So we should have. Haven't opened yet. Where's the YM1s? Okay, so we'll have about 15 minutes or so, and then it'll start showing the S&P futures market opening up, etc. The trading hours for the CME basically open up today at 5 p.m. and that's going to be a New York time, so it's 2 o'clock. So we should be getting those. Shortly. And 1 second here. Un momento, por favor. There we go. Control C. And let me go back over here. These in here, and we have 1. Oops. 1 second, folks. See if that works. There we go. Aha. All right, I got it. Give me 1 second. Let's see if this works. There we go. Let's try this. Okay. All right. So I've got a couple people in here. Not many. That's okay. People can watch it on replay. So we're going to have about 12 minutes or so, and then we'll have the futures market opening. And let me see if I can get any down many. Let's see. S and P. And let's see if we have it here. Okay, it looks like they're opening just a little bit down, 20 points on the S&P. Nope, they're still delayed. So unfortunately, we don't have those. So we'll talk about AMC. So AMC basically had a really good week last week. So had a fantastic week. Really happy. If you guys have any questions, feel free to throw them down in the chat. We're going to be looking at the bottom right of your screen. You're going to see the S&P 500 E-mini futures. And again, those have a D by it because they are delayed. So it'll be a little bit before those start showing up. And then over on the right hand or on the top of the screen, we'll have the future. So we'll go over some other things as well. We have Bitcoin is up to 60,266, a huge move over the weekend. So we had a really nice move over the weekend, ended up at Friday. And this is based on probably all those stimmy checks coming out. So if you take a look at where the run started, pretty much right around the 13th, basically yesterday, about 2 o'clock in the morning Pacific. So that would be 5 o'clock in the morning over on the East Coast. And then it had a nice run because we were hovering right around 57,000, had a huge run all the way up to 61,680 and topped out at 61,680, and it's now sitting at 60,212. So if you take 60,212 divided into 61,680, so it has moved only about 2% off of the top. Now, what could be causing that? Well, there's a pretty good chance that that could actually be stimulus funds being deposited in people's accounts and then people going into it. It could be institutions going into it over the weekend, maybe taking gains from the week that they had and getting in touch with some of the exchanges, whether it's Binance or Coinbase. I know a lot of U.S. corporations. I know Tesla, Coinbase has come out and confirmed that it was Coinbase that helped Tesla make the $1.5 billion purchase in Bitcoin earlier this year based on that. Ethereum currently sitting at 1871. Again, my personal holdings, I am 15% into Bitcoin and I am 85% into Ethereum. So that's where mine are at. So nice runs there. It topped out right about 1944 this weekend. Didn't quite get back up to the $2,000 level. And again, we were at the let me go back over to the 4 hour. We hit the $2,000 level on Ethereum way back here in 20th of February. So almost a month or so ago is when we hit that one. So sitting pretty good there. And again, the 52-week high, we just hit that basically today or yesterday. Yeah, yesterday at the 61,680 mark on them. Looking at precious metals, we have gold. Gold is currently down 22 cents to 1726. Palladium is up 22.50 to 23.74, and all right, platinum went up 3.95, breaking through the $1,200 barrier again. I'm going to flip down to a 5-minute chart, and you can see that's a crucial point for them because they hit it back a couple days ago and then exceeded over that, got all the way up to 1229 or so back on the 11th. So we're sitting pretty good on platinum. I like to see it above 1200. We're above the VWAP. We're above the 50 and 200, or I'm sorry, the 50 and the 200 moving average, as well as the VWAP, which is the volume weighted average price on platinum. And then silver, the master of all manipulation when it comes to the precious metals market, is still trading in its exact same $25 to $30 range, and basically pretty much range bound between 21 and call it 30. So last time it hit 30 was back on the 29th of January or 28th of January. Let's see, when was that? The 1st of February. 1st of February it hit 30. It hit $30 a troy ounce. Since then hasn't done much. Okay, reviewing our meme stocks, our YOLOs, our fantastic fun stuff that we love to talk about here on the channel. We have Rocket. Rocket is currently traded down 82 cents on Friday, and there's been a lot of accusatory manipulation into Rocket, and so a lot of people think that there are a lot of short positions open on there. What the CEO did was he came out and declared a $1.11 dividend, and that dividend is paid to people on March 23rd. I participated in that, 750 shares. I had 250 in my taxable account, and I went ahead and got 500 shares in my retirement account. So what I was able to do was to make sure that I got those dividends in my retirement account. Those are going to be paid out, and then I sold out after the day after the record date last week. So this should easily be back to, I think, I'm hoping to get it back up into the 30s. Will it reach out back up to the 43? Well, that's a good question. It hit the 43 basically after it came out. And then it was a little bit because it went on a huge run at the beginning of this month. And that was based on the dividend being announced in late February about the $1.11 dividend. A lot of people wanted to capture that, but then it sold off back into the 25 range. So the real purchase power is in this range bound $22 to $25 range. They had a decent week last week, and so hoping for some good things on Rocket so they continue their trend. GME, GameStop, having a fantastic week last week. In the last week, where are we at here? They were up 92% over 92% last week. So up 92% last week. Finished the week strong. 264.50 was range bound for most of Friday. Didn't do a whole lot. Jumped up to about 295. Whatever it could do, it could not break through that 300-point barrier for as far as a price point. So we'll see what happens with that one too. Again, big day coming up on March 19th. With not so much Rocket as much as GME, GameStop, and AMC Theater Group. And both of those have a ton of options expiration that are going to be happening this coming Friday. Myself, I have 30 call options at $4 expiring in the money on $3.19. I have 15 call options at $8 a share, not expiring until April 16th. And then Rocket, like I said, I just own shares, and AMC I own some shares as well. So GameStop should hopefully have a good week this week, and we'll take a look at what happens on those. We have just a minute or so, and then we should start getting updates on the futures market and what they are doing. AMC had a fantastic week as well. What an awesome week on AMC. It basically went up, where we at here, 38% on the week. So 38% on the week for AMC, and just a stellar performance, up 426% on year to date, and it closed up another 88 cents, or about 8.56% on Friday, well above 11.16. There really wasn't much of a battle to keep it above 11 on Friday. If I take you out to the 10-minute range, if you have questions, go ahead and post them in the chat. We'll be talking about some gorillas here in a little bit also. But we also had, pretty much it got up to 11.49 on Friday. Couldn't break through that range, but had a nice open, a nice slam on the open. If you take a look at what happened on Thursday, up to 10.87 is a high on there, and then post-market got down to 9.50 in the post-market or the pre-market on Friday morning, and then came strong out of the gate all the way up to 11.40 about an hour or so in. What time was this at? Right about an hour and 10 minutes into the market opening on Friday, slammed all the way up to 11.40, and then was range bound pretty much between like 11.15 or so or 11.33. We were talking at some levels, some opportunity levels to buy on the channel on Friday, which I think we had some people, somebody, or maybe it was Thursday, they bought a 10.16, I think, somewhere around there. So we ended up with a really nice candle. If you take a look here at the end of the post market on Friday, at right almost 5 o'clock on the last candle, the last 10 minutes slammed all the way up and got a nice run of about 15 cents or so, somewhere around there. So had a really nice candle there at the end, and we'll see what happens when that opens. Usually if I wake up in the middle of the night on a Sunday night, I'll check the futures. I may or may not take some trades during that time period depending on what's going on. Charlie 4912 says, hello, great to see you on a Sunday. Happy Sunday to you too, Charlie. Thanks for stopping in. And we're live right now on Twitch as well as YouTube. I got a couple of viewers over at YouTube. If you have any specific questions on any stocks, we're going to be here for probably about the next hour or so. We'll be here. So we'll be talking about that too. So looking at oil prices, whoops, let me go back over here. Sorry about that. Make sure I get the right ones. Boom. Here we go. CLI. We're going to look at the Brent and the oil prices. Oil prices finished on Friday 65.61, down 41 cents, and the Brent crude also finished down 41 cents, and that's important because we know that we have some positions in where'd it go? US oil, and so that looks pretty good as well. And again, I saw an article yesterday doing some more research, and they were talking about $100 a barrel. And if we get so this is important, and this is why this is important, especially if you're new to the channel. If oil reaches $100 a barrel, I've got a USO price target that if we hit average gas prices, my price target right now is set on US oil is set at $70. So I've got a personal target of $70 on US oil, because if oil goes up to $4.50 a gallon, that's kind of what we're looking at. Here's why this is important. If oil keeps going up, and if we take a look at the Brent crude, and we'll just leave it on the Brent crude instead of going on the light, but if we look at the Brent crude and see where we've come from, all the way from the bottom in April, because there was a lag with the downturn in the market in April, to 15. Oops, let me get. Why isn't that scrolling? Hold on. Okay, so we were down to 1598 back in April. When was that? The 23rd? Yeah, 23rd. Yeah, 22nd of April. We hit a low on Brent crude at 1598. It slammed all the way up to 69, and so you're seeing gas prices just go crazy. And I think we were at 378 in California, and I paid 344 this week. And so looking at this, now we're up to 285. So it was 378 the last time I looked in California. Now 383. So another 6 cents basically. It came up in California. Oregon 311, Washington 326, Illinois 303, Pennsylvania 302. New York still 289. Good for them. Still hanging out below, pretty much right around the average there, about 5 cents above average. So the highest taxing state, I believe, is California at 383, which is amazing based on all the refineries they have over there. So that could definitely come into play as far as things that are happening. Okay. So we also have AMC. Now AMC, again, theaters are open. If we try and take a look, and let's see if we have any, let's see, box office receipts. And see if we have some updates on the weekend. Box office, let's hold on a second. Box office receipts. I gotta book one of these as a tab to find it better. Yeah, domestic 2021 week 10. We might be able to get it here, and then click on their home and go domestic. Okay, daily. Here's a March 14th weekend. Okay, data as of March 14th at 10:45 a.m. Pacific. So top 15 gross. So last weekend 22.9. And we're at 15.2 so far for this weekend. Probably doesn't include all of the receipts, but definitely overall gross 16.6 so far. But 27 releases. So Raya and the Last Dragon looks to be the number one on the weekend. So we'll keep that one going as well. But actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a tab to that. Boom, boom. So I have it in there. Okay. So AMC, again, AMC had a really nice week last week. We're looking for some good things here. So what did the retard do? So what I did was I did a couple things. I bought a, why is it showing up there? Let's see here. Okay. Here we go. I went on to the Gorilla Fund, and there have been literally dozens and dozens of posts of people adopting orangutans. I saw ostriches. I saw gorillas. I saw all kinds of things. And I said, okay, what can I do to support this cause? Because I like it. I think it's a good idea to give back, right? So I started off with a T-shirt, and I wanted a black one, and those were all sold out. And so I was able to pick up a gray large shirt for $25. They have an option on there anytime you buy something, and anytime that you donate to them, that you can include the fees to process in your donation. And so it's pretty much, that's what I did. So I bought a T-shirt. I plan to wear that to the movies, And then what I also did was I was able to, they have something where you can buy a plaque. And let me see here. Let me close this one. And let me find it up here. And let me go, here we go. Here we go. Let me bring it up here. Okay, here we go. All right. So the donations for adopting a gorilla. So let's go to that one first. So you can adopt a gorilla, and these will be basically multiple donations. So the gorilla basically that you adopt isn't going to be specifically yours and your only gorilla. Doesn't quite work that way. But you can choose, and you'll see a silverback for $150. You can choose a mother-infant pair where I think she was born. Her hierarchy, I think she was born in 83 or something like that, or no, 89, and then she then left one of her clans to become part of another clan where she was a female patriarch. And so you can click on these things, and you can click on the about, and it will tell you what their history was. So you could basically adopt both of these. And let me make that a little bit bigger. Okay. Gudagara, meaning surprise, was born in the Sousa's group in 1983. So after moving to Pablo's group in 1995, she became one of the matriarchs of the group and later the dominant female. She has produced 7 offspring, more than any other female in Pablo's group. Her youngest, I'm going to goof this up. Inararaboni, Nai for short, I like Ni for short, that's even better, meaning wise and experienced, was born in April 2019. Ni is often seen playing with other gorillas near her mother, including Silverback Agahubuzo. So you can click on these individually and you can donate, and it's basically it's a tax deductible donation. I believe they're listed as a 501c3. I think that was what it said in my email. I didn't know about any of that until after I had donated to it. You can adopt Arungano, and if I'm saying these words wrong, please somebody correct me, let me know. You can adopt that one, and looks like this one was born in June of 2017. And so making her the great-granddaughter, we think, of the legendary Titus. There we go. The reason that we say we think is because it is not easy to detect the gender of baby gorillas. We need the right visibility and moment to detect it, so we are still not 100% sure. She will be 3 this year, which is a tough year for any gorilla because that is the age they begin the process of weaning off their mother's milk and transitioning to a completely solid food diet. And they have already sent a thank you. Let me see if I can pull this up, and if I pull this up, I think we can. I think we can. Let's see. I think we can find this over in. So I think she's the director or the CEO or something. But here's another one. Updated their front page with Ape Strong Together. Very good. Nice post over there. But let me find it. Let me see if I can find this video. And I may have to scroll for a little bit because they changed their home page. If you go to their home page, Gorilla Fund, and click on their home page, and here we go. They already changed their home page to Apes Together Strong. So the Diane Fossey Gorilla Fund, which she started that, I want to say 1967 or so, or 69, something like that. But let me find this. Let me find this video, and we'll watch it once we find it, and because it's pretty cool. It's very, very cool. Yeah, they're doing all kinds of posts. Wow, we are overwhelmed by the support. We are seeing from official WSB and people from around the world. We have raised $77,000 already. This was yesterday. They had already raised $77,000. So they are just floored. You know, let's put this one up here because this is pretty cool. So let me get this up here. And what you'll see is all kinds of donations being posted in here. Apes Together Strong, Whale Adoption Project. Here's the tweet here. We are overwhelmed by the support we are seeing from people around the world. We have raised 77,000. That's 77,000 or 77 or 17 hours ago. There's one for AMC theaters. There's one organic light bulb. GameStop 312 200 calls. So they had $200 calls that expired last Friday. There's one for GameStop. There's one that says F Melvin Capital. Okay, apes to the moon. GameStop. There's certificates. If you adopt a gorilla, you will also get a certificate, and then people are posting their certificates in here, which is pretty awesome. But the video, I want to find that one, and I may have to scroll. Here it is. All right, so let me get this bigger. President. And let me go over here, and we'll restart it. And let's see if this works. Oops. Might be too big with everything that I'm streaming here. Hold on.
Hi, Wall Street Bets. My name is Tara Stavinsky. I'm the president.
Okay, so hold on. Let me do this. And let's see if we can get this to pause. And it looks like it's having a little bit of a problem buffering here. It could be the Sunday internet. Anyway, so you can go on there and you can look, and she's basically very, very thankful for what everybody's been doing to help the cause. And so if you can donate on there, please do so. So what the champions is this. You can become a gorilla champion today. And what you can do is you can choose an ape, and what they're going to do is they're going to basically go on, it's going to go on their wall. And they broke ground on this new center, the Ellen DeGeneres, there it is, the Ellen DeGeneres campus of the Diane, with no E on the end, of the Diane Fossey Gorilla Fund. And basically, it's a tax-deductible donation, 501c3, and you can do either a $500 donation or a $1,000 donation. And so basically, you can choose, and then you get a name or a phrase on there. You can do that as well. And then to do that, from information on the campus, you can click here. We'll do that. And where's it at? Internet's a little slow today. Okay, so they started this in February 12, 2019, marked one of our most important yet as we broke ground on a new permanent home for our work. And so they're looking to open this center. They were closed because of the situation, and they're looking to open this center either in summer or fall of this year, of 2021. So basically, they're going to do education, equity, everything. And it's going to be, there's a lot of campus stories that you can view on the website. The team visited the campus on World Gorilla Day. There's YouTube videos all over the place. You can do a virtual call, a virtual tour of their campus. And then what you're going to be able to do is they're going to make a wall of plaques. And you can purchase a plaque, and you can adopt a gorilla, you can donate to their cause, you can buy t-shirts and offset the cost as part of your donation. I bought a t-shirt and I did a plaque. That's what I chose to do. And then they basically send you a little letter saying, thank you in the email or what have you for doing it. So what I also said is I put down some challenges in there, and I want to take a look at what could be done as far as helping out a cause. And it doesn't matter if you like the way that the center is named, or you don't support the person or the way the center is named. That doesn't matter. It's basically the cause that you're donating to. There's people that donate millions and millions of dollars to things all the time, and you may not necessarily agree with their politics or what they're about. But if you believe in the cause, don't let that stop you from contributing. One of my favorites is I actually contribute to the Semper Fi Fund, and the Semper Fi Fund is basically an organization that helps out disabled veterans, and it's now called the Semper Fi and America's Fund. And they're out of Camp Pendleton, and what I would recommend to anybody before you make any donation whatsoever is go on to Charity Navigator and then search out the name of a fund. So you could search out the Diane Fossey Gorilla Fund, and you can go on Charity Navigator and you can see what percentage of your donations go to funds. And it's a great way to figure out where you want to donate money to. So like, for example, my My Amazon, I'm not going to give a link to it here, but my Amazon, every time I purchase something on Amazon, it makes a donation to the Simplifying America's Fund on my behalf. And then it gives you, every time I log in, I can click up in the top left-hand corner of my Amazon, and I can click and see how much everybody that chose them on their Smile donation, and you can just go to smile.amazon.com and you can make that donation. Okay. So the Apes Together Strong, Become a Gorilla Champion today. You have two different choices on these plaques, and the choices are either $500 or $1,000. So you can choose which one you want to do to become a champion. So you click on that link to become a Gorilla Champion today, and this is what they're going to look like. The Ellen DeGeneres campus of the Diane Fossey Gorilla Fund is opening in 2021, and you can be a part of it. So you'll have the opportunity to have something on there if you want. As far as Charlie says, what a great cause. I love this. It is. I thought it was a good idea. But kudos to really. I would love to know the name of the person who was the first one on Reddit to donate this fund. If anybody figures out who that is, let me know, because I want to reach out to them. I'm not going to say what I might be considering for that person or on their behalf, but if somebody figures out who that was, let me know in a stream or shoot me an email or shoot me a direct message with that Reddit user's name, because I do want to do something for them too, for bringing it to light, coming up with a great idea, because I didn't come up with it. And it's great. What I did do was expand on it a little bit by talking about the Gorilla Champions. Now, the Gorilla Champions, again, this is going to be a wall of donators that are basically going to be up there. So, and the reason I did this instead of adopt a gorilla is basically because the gorillas were $125 and $60, and okay, I could have done 2 or 3 different gorillas and got it up to $500. But then I went on the site and I saw the Apes Together Strong logo, and I talked about the Gorilla Champions, and I said, oh, this is kind of cool. What's this all about? And so you have 2 choices here. You have a $1,000 donation for a silverback gorilla or $500 donation for infant gorilla. And that is basically just the size of the gorilla that goes on the plaque. And then the difference that you have between the two is you can put it in someone else's name. You can put a phrase on there. You can put your name on there. You can put a loved one's name on there. You can put somebody, in memoriam to someone maybe that passed away or something like that. You can do that. And on the actual plaque itself, if you donate $1,000, you can have from 1 to 125 characters. Looks like that's just part of the image. I was going to highlight that. 1 to 125 characters on the ape, or on the gorilla, sorry. And on the infant gorilla, you can have 1 through 51 characters. And then what they do after that is they basically will send you a nice little doodaddy thing that basically says, let's see, where's it at here? Oops, sorry about that. Find it. I don't know where. Here we go. Sorry about that. Okay. Computers, they don't want to cooperate. Okay, and let me get the slider. We'll make this bigger. Okay, we'll scroll up. It ain't gonna let me scroll. Oh, here we go. And then you can basically get a, this fund was established in 1967. You get a very nice thank you letter signed by Tara, and then they show you just a summary. If you do it where you include the fees to produce the plaque, it's an additional $15. That's an optional thing you can do. If you want to do that, you don't have to do that. That's certainly up to you. And but I thought it was a fantastic idea. I love when people give back. I love giving back to causes. And I think it's important. So it doesn't have to be the Gorilla Fund. You can do the Simplifying America's Fund. You can do any veterans organization fund. You can donate to shelters for the homeless. You can donate to food banks. You can donate to a local church or synagogue or mosque or whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter where your donation goes. So if you want to do that, you can do that. And so then what I did was I turned around and I said, okay, so what if AMC goes ballistic? And if AMC goes ballistic, I currently have 45 call options, and then I also own shares of AMC as well. And so I basically said, okay, if AMC goes to $20, I'll donate $5,000. If AMC goes to $50, I'll donate $10,000. And if AMC goes to $100, I'll donate $50,000. And if AMC goes to $500 or $1,000, I don't know what I'll do. But I did tell my kids if it goes that high, we will hop on a plane and go there for the opening to visit all the plaques of all the apes and retards that bought and donated stuff for their opening whenever it's going to be. So you can go on there, and basically to do so, you just click to become a Gorilla Champion today. It takes you to a separate site on there. I think it's through Shop or something like that. And then, oh, this is new. I guess you get your name down here. So these are all the people that have already signed up to be a Gorilla Champion. And I guess I don't know what level. It's probably the $1,000 ones that get on there. I only did 500 for now. But this is something that you can do. That is just I thought it was a fantastic idea to do. I thought that it's something that if you want to do that, or if you want to do any other charitable fund, I think it's just a great idea to go ahead and do that. So I thought it was pretty cool. Okay. So coming back over here. So AMC, so the things I'm going to be looking at tomorrow, I'm going to be looking at the market. Stimulus checks. Stimulus checks started being deposited into people's accounts on, looks like late Friday night maybe. So when President Biden signed the stimulus bill on Thursday, that basically triggered the IRS to go ahead and start pushing the buttons to send them out. I have not seen a schedule on the stimulus checks in terms of what they're going to do as far as, was it all dumped in at once? I know that I did talk to one person who said that they were not going to, that the stimulus check shows that it was deposited, but it was deposited into the wrong account or something like that, an old account. And I think back in April of last year, the first one, you could go to the IRS website and change the direct deposit address. But you can't do that any longer. So the only way you can update your direct deposit address for stimulus payments, and this is probably going to be the last one until April 15th, right? So we're not getting any more. So if they had old bank information for you, you're going to be waiting about a month for your stimulus check, unless you already filed your taxes. Now, the limitations that they had were if you made $75,000 or less per year, or $150,000 a year, plus $1,400 for each kid, up to, again, $150,000 filed jointly, $75,000, you got the full $1,400 per person in your household. If you made more than that, then it laddered down from 75. I think I read from 75 to 88,000. And someone can correct me on that if they like. But that's I believe that is what I saw on there. So not sure if that's 100% accurate, but I believe that's the way it goes. I dug into it, but I didn't necessarily take a look at whether because I'm not getting one. So there you go. So it's pretty good. Seeing some things on there, some replies. Let's see here. People are saying they're going to donate. Well done. So that's kind of cool. So I don't know if it's going to take off. It's if it does, great. If not, great. I'm still holding shares. I'm still holding options. I plan to see what happens. But I already pulled the trigger and made a donation. I'm encouraging all of you to do exactly the same thing. So if you have the means available, and whether it's $1, whether it's $5, $10, $25, $60, I think you can adopt a gorilla. Let's see here. Where's it at here? Go back to adopt. I think 60 was the lowest I had seen. Yeah, $60. So you can adopt a gorilla for as low as $60. You have three choices here: infant Ishimwe, infant Sorawanda, and infant Orangano. And I'm probably jacking the names on that. The next up is $125 for a father-infant pair of Twibuke and his son Liamarir. And then also for $125, mother-infant pair Gudangara and Inararabonye. Maybe I got that right. Usually I'm okay at names, but we'll see. And then for $150, you can adopt a silverback Segasira. I'll go with Segasira. Again, that's probably wrong as well. So you have different options there on the website that list those, and you can certainly adopt a gorilla of your choice. And oops, go figure again. And then you can go on there as well. So that works out pretty well. And then again, they're building a future. This is basically what the center is going to look like. There are, oh, that's playing right now. Maybe that's why I couldn't pull up that video earlier, because it was playing. So they're 32 minutes in. That explains why I couldn't watch the other video. So apparently that auto plays on their website. So they do a campus overview on there as well. Again, it's a great history. They have a good future ahead of them. They are absolutely, according to the posts that I'm seeing, they are floored with the support. And again, they are so floored with the support that they turned around and basically changed the heading on their front page to helping people saving gorillas, apes together strong. So I thought that was fantastic. And just a really, really good idea. And it's something that, if you take a look at, causes you can give to, and everybody knows on Wall Street Bets and r/AMC Stocks and r/Wall Street Bets Elite, those are the three groups that I belong to and pay attention to. There's a lot of stuff that's available and information that's out there. And apes is one of the things that they call people. Bananas tend to equal tendies, which tends to equal money. And it's just something that looks pretty good. So yay for everybody that's doing that. I think it's kind of cool. Because it's something that you can not only help out a cause, but you can also, do something good for others. And again, it doesn't have to be gorillas, right? It can be whatever you want it to be. It can be a homeless shelter. It can be a food bank. It can be your local church, synagogue, or mosque. It doesn't matter what it is. But give something back. And as you give something back, that usually comes back to help you down the road too. But mainly it helps out the cause of something in the greater good. And so I'm very fortunate that my story was that I was able to basically quit my job in the middle of a pandemic back on October 25th of 2020. And so what I want to do is I want to give back. I want to teach people how to build multiple income streams and educate them. And so if you like what you're seeing, give me a follow. If you're over on YouTube, give me a like on the video over there, and let me know if you find some of the information that I share. Twice a day during the week I stream a half an hour before the markets open. And so that is 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern time. I go for 2.5 hours, and then I come back and I stream an hour and a half before the markets close, which is from 11:30 Pacific or 2:30 Pacific to right around 1 o'clock or 4 o'clock, or 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock Eastern time, a few minutes after that. And I'll do portfolio reviews. I'll take a look at different stocks. Some people last week were putting symbols in there, and I would do a little due diligence on them and take a look at things. We can go over that just a little bit. So let's just take an example like Ethereum. And I'm going to go down to the 3-minute chart on Ethereum because that's trading live right now. So what I have is I have 50 and 200 period averages. Okay, the 50 is the green, the red is the 200, and the white is the VWAP, volume weighted average price. I look at those. I look at pivot points. So where's the stock trading, highs and lows on the day, which is going to form either resistance at the top or support at the bottom. And then what I'll do is I'll come down here, and before I make any type of trade, I'll look at my triple charts. And what I'll do is I'll look at a 5-minute chart down below. I have a 3-minute up here. I have a daily chart up here. And then I have buy-sell signals that I look for confirmations. So, for example, Ethereum right now is currently at 1865.02. So my buy signals is operating on a sell signal right now, okay? Down here in my MACD, moving average convergence divergence, that is currently sitting with the red line above the blue. I need it for the blue to be above the red, but we are in a very oversold condition according to, well, not quite oversold. Oversold would be below the dotted line. Overbought would be above the dotted line up here. And then we can look at the 30-second chart and say, okay, what's it doing? So on my 30-second charts, if you're ever watching me live and looking at doing, taking a trade here and there live, what I'll look at is I will take a look at my 30-second chart to see sentiment, and then I'll look at my averages if they're trading live at that time. Like, for example, I can put Bitcoin up here, and I can put Ethereum down here. Look at that. At the bottom. So now the top chart, the bottom chart is trading Ethereum. The top chart should be BTC. Hold on. Okay. So now what you're seeing on the bottom of your screen is this is the live 30-second chart of Bitcoin and Ethereum. So right now they're moving somewhat in opposite directions. Bitcoin a little bit up, and again, Bitcoin's trying to hang out at the support level. So let's look at that one instead, because that's got some more recent action here. So taking a look at Bitcoin and saying, okay, where would be a good entry to buy? 0, which is where it hit before. I think my last buy on Bitcoin, again, I have about 15% Bitcoin in my portfolio. I have about 85% Ethereum, mainly because Ethereum has outperformed Bitcoin over the last year. And then I also crypto mine Ethereum using a bunch of GPU miners that I have. And I have 7 of those. So I'm running almost 1.4 gigahash a second. And I go over that on my channel as well during the week too. So taking a look at something like Bitcoin, if we take a look at my triple chart down here, and I'm looking at a 5-minute chart here, and I see some levels of resistance up at the 60,400. I see levels of support down here at 59,749. I look at the daily and say, well, can't really look at that unless you go all the way back to the 20th of February at the $58,000 level. So now I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to take a look. And this is what I do for stocks too. If I'm looking to make a personal trade in the markets during the week. So I'll take a look at Bitcoin, and here we are on a 3-minute chart, and say, okay, what's my MACD doing? What's my moving average convergence divergence doing? And what are my volumes doing? Well, it looks like it hit a bit of a wall here, and the seller's volume isn't quite as great as the, let me move this up a little bit, get this bigger, hold on. Okay, there we go. The selling volume is not quite exceeding the buyer's volume. That's a good sign. We are right around the VWAP and the 50 and 200 period moving average. Again, the only time a 50 and 200 day moving average, which is what most people call that, is on a daily chart. And we are well above the VWAP, the 50, and the 200 moving average. So, but I look at them on a 3-minute for very, very, very short-term trade action. And so looking at this is looking like it's going to struggle just a little bit. Looks like there's some support down here. 59,292. So if you take 292 divided into 972, and you say, okay, you know, that's a little bit of a drop there, 3% or so, you know, or 0.3%. We want to take a look at maybe what it's going to do. So let me see, 58 divided into, yeah, you're about 3% off of its last short-term support level. Resistance is up here at 60,500, but it did hit a high yesterday of 61,680 is where it was at. It hit its high today of the 60,499 there. So and then it hit it over here, and then got up to 507 over here. So anytime it goes up to this 60,500 level, it's possibly going to test until it breaks through that level and either moves forward or even takes a turn for the south. I know that if you're buying and selling, let's say Ethereum, the fees tend to be less on the weekend. So if you're ever looking to purchase either additional Ethereum, add to your position, or even sell a position you might have, the weekends tend to have a lot less fees on the cryptocurrencies, whether you're on Binance Exchange or Kraken or Coinbase. Again, Coinbase is a US-based exchange. There's also Gemini is a US-based exchange, and Coinbase and Gemini are in, I believe, just about every state where Binance is not, and Binance is a foreign exchange. So Coinbase is good, and Coinbase is the cryptocurrency exchange that worked with Elon Musk to make his Tesla $1.5 billion buy of Bitcoin earlier this year. So, or it was released that he did it earlier this year. And so he is up quite a handsome amount of money with that. And I know I saw a chart last week, I think I shared it on the stream, or I saw somewhere, where the personal buyers of Bitcoin are going like this, but the institutional buyers of Bitcoin and Ethereum are going like that. And if that's the case, that basically means that, you know, there's talk of a lot of companies that are using Bitcoin as their hedge against marketplace. So that's something that's available too. So that looks pretty good as far as that goes. Let me come back down here, and this one, and oops, yep. And I want to go back down to this one. Okay. All right. So so what we're looking at again, AMC. Great job. If you have an opportunity to donate to the Gorilla Fund, or again choose a different fund, please do so. I kind of did it, as saying, hey, you know what? Apes be apes, and depending on what folks are doing and what they're looking at and where things are going, it's certainly an opportunity to do that. One of the other ideas I had is, I know Costco is selling AMC theater tickets now, and I think it's $11.73 per pack of 4 movie tickets, and they're called yellow tickets. And what the AMC yellow tickets are is they're not going to be for every showing. So you can't, for $11.73, take a family for the movie unless it's not a new release, or it's during the day, during the week, or possibly a matinee on the weekend. Okay, and I don't know if those rules have changed or not. I'm going to get over to Costco this week, and I'm going to buy some packs. And my plan is to go give some to my neighbors. And so that's my plan, is to buy a bunch for myself, because here's what's going to happen. All those movies that were released last year, right, or that were not released last year, they're going to take those movies and they are going to release them this year. And even Adam Aron, the CEO of AMC, said on a conference call that he's looking forward to Top Gun, the sequel, Top Gun 2, and with Tom Cruise, and he's looking forward to that one. And they're going to start, he says the most exciting time for movies is going to be between Memorial Day and July 4th. And you are literally going to get releases every single Friday between that time, because they're not going to hold on to these. They need, when the kids are out of school, if they're in school now, or if they're not in school, if they're being homeschooled, and as the areas open up, we have LA opening up on Monday to 25%. We have 50% in Washington State on March 22nd. I think we're at 25% right now. New York is currently at 25%, so theaters are open. So this weekend, it's going to be interesting to see what it was. I know that I did read a disclaimer on the AMC tickets you buy at Costco that they are not good at theaters, I think, that are owned by, I want to say Universal. I know Universal is one, and I don't know if Warner was the other. But the thing about Warner Brothers also dual releasing, the CEO alluded to the fact that typically box office receipts are split, and depending on the studio with the theater chain, 50% is about an average. So half of the box office receipts usually go back to the studio. May not have known that. He alluded to the fact that they may have struck a deal with Warner Brothers, since Warner Brothers is releasing on their own platforms and releasing to HBO Max at the same time movies come to theaters, that they may have struck a deal with Warner Brothers, maybe for a lower take of the box office receipts for what they did. And so, but it's going to be nuts. People are going to go back to the movies. They're going to go back to date nights. It's different. Unless you have a full home theater set up and you've got a lot of money and you've got reclining seats and Dolby and Atmos and everything else for your own house, it's still not the same as seeing a movie like Top Gun in the movie theater. When I go see Top Gun, it's going to be at the theater. I don't care what service it's on, even if they release it to Netflix right away. I plan to go to the theater to watch that. Same thing with GameStop. As soon as I can find a PS5 to buy, I'm going to go buy it at a GameStop. Why? It helps them out. I used to trade in games there. My kids used to trade in games and buy new games there. And maybe they'll move to a digital platform, because GameStop had a nice finish to the end of the day. They were range bound in the 260s. I talked about quite a bit on Friday, but they were range bound for a lot of the day. And so if I can get my hands on a PS5 at GameStop, I may actually go into one and say, hey, shoot me a text and I'll swing over the next time they get one, and see if they're going to do that. But no news on them. I haven't opened up my brokerage accounts today to look if there's any news for them. That maybe isn't hitting my my TradingView stuff, but that stuff is there as well. And so it looks like, what kind of day we're going to have tomorrow in the markets. I think I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. There you go, honesty and truth. So what we're looking at is I think that we have a chance to have a really, really strong week. But there are going to be some battles taking place. And in my opinion, there are going to be battles on 3 different stocks. And here's what I'll say about them. But beforehand, here's a financial disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a tax advisor. I do not give personal financial tax or tax advice. Don't do what I do. If you see me make a trade, don't mimic the trade and do the same, because you're going to get a different price and you're going to lose all your money. Sometimes I lose money. I've lost money on AMD before. I've lost money on NVIDIA before. I've made money on AMC, turned around, bought some precious metals with profits from there, and made some donations to Gorilla Funds. So there's opportunities that are out there, but don't do what I do. This is not financial advice. Don't listen to me. I'm just some idiot retard that eats bananas and is sitting on the internet. So if you follow me, you're going to lose all your money. Now, what do I think is going to happen this week? I don't know. What I hope happens is people take that stimulus money and they invest it wisely. Take some of that and put it in and contribute to a Roth IRA, or if you don't qualify for a Roth IRA, contribute it to a traditional IRA, or increase your percentage to your 401k at work and take some of the free money. Hopefully you're into that as much as your company will match. But again, consult your human resources department for where you work for what those are, or log into your account online. Don't put all your money into AMC or Rocket or GameStop. I own 2 out of the 3. I own shares and options on AMC. I own shares of Rocket. I currently do not own any GameStop. But I'm hoping that all 3 of them get an influx of funds. And on GameStop, what I'm going to show you is I'm going to go over here and let me close some of these out. We'll come back to these as we close here in a little bit. But the let's see here. Leave that one open. Box office, we'll close that one. Gas prices, we'll close that one. And we're going to take a look at Fintel. And, Fear and Greed Index, where are we at? And I'm going to show you who's with us on AMC. Because the folks that are participating in this, and when you hear about the people trying to drive the stock down, and you talk about all the filing and say, oh, it's a waste of money, it's overvalued. There was some idiot that's saying, oh, I initiate coverage. And on the news stories, they didn't say that he was initiating coverage. They just said, we have an analyst, and all the news stories. This analyst says that AMC price target is 1 cent. Okay. I wonder what undisclosed positions or relationships that analyst had with people that are shorting the stock or hedge funds. I wonder. So when you look at somebody that comes out with a price target of a penny, you have to ask yourself 2 things. A, are they an idiot? B, who's going against that advice? Okay. I'm one of them. Okay. I'm one of them going against that advice. And I'm going to show you why. When you look at the top mutual fund holders in AMC, okay, the top 32, if you look at the share position increases since February 16th, okay, this is prior, this is current shares. 17 to 29,000, 11 to 21,000, 822 to 1100, 224, 0 position, 2-row price in AMC. Now 138,000 shares. That's nothing. Come up here. Vanguard, PIMCO, Vanguard, Total Stock Market Index Trust, Northern Trust got into it, Charles Schwab got into it, Vanguard. These are all individual funds, went from 700,000 shares, and on March 1st, they increased their position up to 1.6 million shares. They increased this one from 1.2 million to 1.9 million. So if you want to listen to some idiot on the alphabet news stations that are out there talking about AMC with a 1 cent price target, do you think that guy's smarter than Vanguard or PIMCO or Northern Trust or any of these folks? You know, they went in and they basically took a look at buyers. You can go into this is fintel.io, and it just takes public information. We'll look at the short interest here in a little bit as well. But if you look at this, Northern Funds, SAO Wealth Advisors, this only goes as far back as the 10th. So we'll probably get updates tomorrow, and I'll have those on the stream again from 6 o'clock in the morning for 2.5 hours I stream, and then from 11 o'clock in the morning Pacific, or I'm sorry, 11:30 in the morning Pacific until 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific, I stream the close. But these are all ones all the way back to really February 16th. Okay, so February 16th and March 1st. Okay, so February 16th and March 1st. What I want you to do is we're going to take a look at what the stock was doing on those days. So we're going to take a look at AMC, and I'm going to go into a 1-hour chart, and we're going to scroll all the way back to February 16th. Okay, so on February 16th, and they may not be in it anymore, okay, but on February 16th, there was a huge group that bought anywhere from 590 up to 668. 590 to 668. They've already doubled their money on it. Okay. On March 10th or on March 1st, they doubled down. On March 1st, there were millions and millions of shares increased, anywhere from $8.20 all the way up to about $9.03 on the day. Okay, so you can believe the talking heads on TV talking about everything else, and everything's bad news, and everything's gloom and doom, and nobody's going to go back to the theaters. AMC, according to their conference call and their CEO, they closed 60 theaters during the pandemic. So they basically shut the doors on 60 different theaters during the pandemic. They also upgraded a boatload of them to new reclining seats, spread the seats farther apart, cleaned them up, and the CEO, I thought that he had the best quote on a conference call I think I've heard in a very, very long time. And I'm such a retard, I listen to conference calls on prior earnings calls to get context, and if they're on video, I really like it. But if I just get the audio, I listen to those too before I make a major buy. What he said was this, and I'll paraphrase, but I think I got the quote right. So Adam Aaron, the CEO of AMC, said that the days of dirty theaters are over. The days of dirty theaters are over. And what he meant by that is AMC Theaters came out and they partnered with Harvard, and they partnered with Clorox, and they came up and devised a cleanliness plan for their theaters. Things like freestyle beverages, where they're not going to hand you, they're not going to hand you a full beverage and worry about cross-contamination or anything like that. So their theaters are going to look different when you go back. I've not been back yet. I hope to get to Costco maybe tomorrow or Tuesday at the latest, in between streams or after streams, and I'm going to go buy some movie tickets. I'll show those on my stream as well, or I can proof and ban myself. But when you look at this and you look at the inflow share difference, previous shares, 754,000, 1135. So take 754, divide that into 1135, and subtract from 1, and they increased their position by 34% in that fund. 1235 divided into 1916, and they increased their position by 36%. And these are different Vanguard funds. And you can look at all the other ones and the days that they bought them. I can't wait to see the institutional buyers that came into this stock for last week as they get reported. Okay. Now, let's see if they show sellers. Okay. And the sellers show previous shares 0. Here's what you're not seeing. Okay. You see some JP Morgan Chase here. Who cares about JP Morgan? They basically flood the silver market. They manipulate the silver market. They got fined millions of dollars, and I wouldn't trust them with a 10-foot pole. You can read about that. Google JP Morgan silver fines to learn about that. But if you look at these shares being sold, these are in the dozens of thousands. But here's what's missing. Okay, you don't see any Vanguard here. You don't see any Charles Schwab here. You don't see any Merrill Lynch here. Okay. Now I'm going to show you one other thing, because this is important. If I go into buyers, I think, and I scroll down and I look at puts, and I go back to the day before I think, when was it? Oh, hold on. I think it was on I might be on the wrong screen, and maybe I can't find it again right now. But the day before the GameStop hearing in the U.S. Senate that Senator Maxine Waters chaired with DF Value, I'm not going to say his name on here, but DF Value was on, and you had Citadel on there and Melvin Capital. And let me see if I can find it. They asked, I found it. So they asked Citadel, and Citadel said, we no longer have any short positions in GameStop. We no longer have any short positions in GameStop. Nobody, not a single person, came out and said, well, follow-up question, well, what about AMC? Nobody asked a freaking question, okay? I believe that hearing was on the 17th of February. I don't know, I could be wrong. On the 16th of February, in AMC, Citadel increased their selling position in AMC. And I think there was another part where I saw some puts on there that I bought some, that I saw some puts on there as well. And so, you know, it's something that as we look at this, let's see here. Sorry about this. And banning a couple people on my stream that are basically trying to post FUD threads. All right, so when you see huge institutions, and those institutions are going out there and they're actively buying the stock, when you have others saying a price target is at 1 cent, Vanguard is known for their S&P 500 index fund. That's the biggest. I believe that is the biggest S&P 500 fund in the entire world. And if that's the largest S&P 500 fund in the world, and Vanguard is out there in 5 or 6 of their different mutual funds, increasing their AMC position by millions of shares, okay, to the tune of 34 to 36% increase of their holdings, and you can go into the largest institutional holdings. I believe after those buys that there is a good chance that BlackRock, here we go. So Dimensional Fund Advisors, they're no longer there, but 210, I think after the buys on February and March 1st, I believe that it's highly possible that Vanguard now owns more shares than BlackRock does. Okay, and we don't know. And then there's, you know, Silver Lake took their position down to 0. Wanda took their position from 50% ownership of the shares down to 10%, and they may not even be in it anymore. But AMC eliminated $600 million of debt as well. And so you have all of that good news, and it's something that as you look at that, you have to say, what do these folks know that we don't? What does Vanguard know that we don't? Okay. My price target, I think that there is a really good chance that AMC, if you look at where they were, you know, 2018, $21.45 a share. Since that time, they have closed a whole bunch of non-profitable theaters, and even Cinemark came out, and Cinemark came out with no comment to news reporters and journalists after New York opened their theaters. And I still have not heard if they opened their theaters yet. I think I have them down here in the rest stack. I thought I did. Hold on. Here we go. Okay, here's Cinemark, and they jumped up 0.5 point. Look, you would think the chart looks fantastic. Let's go to the 3-minute. And they were up like 0.54%. Okay, and nothing really in after hours. But if you look at news, Cinemark announces the expiration of the cash tender offer for any and all Cinemark USA senior notes. Okay. Could open next week. Here's the same story that we pulled up earlier. 25% capacity in LA County. And movie theaters include AMC, Cineworld, and Cinemark. Badly hurt by the pandemic. We know that. The first big budget action movie of the 2021 Hollywood schedule is Walt Disney's Black Widow. And again, Black Widow is set for May 7th. Okay, Black Widow is met for May 7th. And here's what we're going to get. We're going to get, next one, Fast and Furious sequel F9 and Top Gun Maverick starring Tom Cruise over the summer. Those are going to be big. And there's going to be a bunch of other movies as well. But there's no news on Cinemark. The last time that they had something was March 4th when they announced they were basically issuing more debt. So Cinemark is out there issuing new debt. Now, if you take a look at something, and I think they're 5 point something. Where is it? Here it is. Cinemark Holdings, $405 million of debt they issued on March 4th at paying 5.875%. Okay, 5.875%. The 10-year Treasury yield, what is that at? The 30-year is at like 2.38. The 10-year is at like 1.6. So they're going to pay 5.875% at $405 million of debt. I'm not buying that bond. I don't know what it was rated. Did it say what it was rated? Let's see. Hold on. Let's see what it was rated. Here we go. Interesting. Okay, so if this is not a tell, I don't know what is. And I've got more stuff on the bond market that I'll be coming out with tomorrow. But they introduced pricing of $400 million senior notes. Cinemark Hold, they don't say what their bond rating is in the news report. That's interesting. They announced a close of the tender offer of the December 22 5.25% notes. Again, no bond rating. No idea. So contrast that with what AMC did. What AMC did was AMC paid off $600 million. They got rid of $600 million of debt. That's what they did. Okay, they got rid of $600 million of debt is what AMC did. And then Vanguard basically said, well, thank you very much. We appreciate you doing that. We're going to slam. We own 7.6 million shares is owned by the Vanguard Group. I think Vanguard's institutional ownership, now these dates are not updated, and it's Fintel, which is grain of salt stuff. I believe this stuff to be accurate as far as the shareholdings, because they have to be taken right from the SEC filing, the 13G. And if I clicked on this, that will take me to the filing showing the ownership on there. Okay, but what I don't believe out of Fintel is this: short interest. I don't believe there's 5.5 million shares available for AMC to be able to short. I saw an article where TD Ameritrade already said for tomorrow that GME and Rocket, I think, you can't borrow their shares tomorrow. You're forbidden on their platform. They're saying the borrow rate is 1.96. We saw postings from people at 13%, and I think a little over 10% or 11% borrow rate for AMC. And maybe I'll try a call tomorrow. Maybe I'll call my brokerage firm tomorrow and ask them what the interest rate borrow fee is on AMC. And I can't throw them on speakerphone because that would not be legal to do so. But I can call them and ask them what it is. You need in the state I live in. I don't know what the law is. I think I can, but I'm not going to risk it. But I will tell you if I get that information. I said I might do it last week. I didn't get a chance to do it, but if I get a chance to do it, maybe I'll call my brokerage firm and ask them what it is. So looking at next week, we have major market options expiration on Friday. So you have a lot of options expiring on Friday. You have wholesale inventories at 10 a.m. So 7 a.m. Pacific, 6 a.m. Eastern on Tuesday. Small business index. You get the CPI again at 8:30 a.m. on Wednesday. Core CPI. Here's the big one. The FOMC. We're going to carry this live on Wednesday, okay? And is the Federal Open Market Committee. And we're going to carry the live stream of Pew Pew Powell, Jeremy Powell, and his press conference next Wednesday. So what day is that? That is the 17th, right? St. Patrick's Day. I'll have to find a green shirt. So on Wednesday, when he speaks, we will carry that news conference live. So we'll have that. We'll have that information. I thought that they had a. Yeah, here we go. If you go to news and events, and you go to calendar, and you look for March, and you scroll down to March 17th. Okay, here it is. FOMC meeting at 2 p.m. is when they start. 2-day meeting, March 16th, 17th press conference. So their first press conference will be at 2 p.m. So that'll be 11 o'clock Eastern time. And so we will stream that. So we will stream the FOMC meeting on Wednesday, March 17th with Chairman Jeremy Powell. And we'll stream that here on the stream. So that'll be a big one, and because we will be watching the market, what it does, both the VIX as well as the S&P 500, to see what those do. Okay, all right. So looking down at the bottom of your screen, I've got a couple things to go over here, and what we have is, and I'll pull them up, and we're going to take a look at the futures and go down to my indices. All right. S&P Futures 500 market is now open. We are up 6.75 points, 0.17 on the open. So here's where we finished up, and then nice little spike here, and we're just going there. Again, this is the 3-minute chart. We'll drop down to the 30-second chart. So this is live right now, but it is delayed by 15 minutes. And I don't know what it is. If it's just a few bucks, I think I'm going to try and possibly stream some of these sometimes on Sundays when we have major things happening in the following week. And if you have a question, you're still watching the stream, drop a question down below. It doesn't have to be about futures, doesn't have to be about AMC or GameStop or Rocket, doesn't have to be about the Gorilla Fund or the Gorilla Fund Challenge, but I'll be happy to answer those questions. And then the NASDAQ is up 19.5 right now, topped out of here a little bit, but up 0.15%. So again, unless you're trading futures, which I'm guessing the majority of people that got stimulus money, meaning if they filed jointly, they made less than 150,000, or if they were single, they made less than 75,000. I don't think they got their stimulus checks yet. So because of that, we probably don't have information on what they're buying yet. So this will be interesting. And then when the pre-market opens at 4 o'clock in the morning, that's when we'll get trading information on AMC, GME, and Rocket to see what they're going to do tomorrow. On Rocket, again, that's another one of the, I call them the meme YOLOs, okay, which is the you only live once. And disclosure, I do own AMC shares, I own AMC options, and I also own Rocket shares as well. And so Rocket had an okay finish, and then I don't think there was any news. I didn't see any news earlier on them. I don't have any news for them over the weekend. And of course, they're in a big battle with UWMC, I think, which is the big national brokerage firm, wholesale mortgage firm that basically threatened all of its clients with, if you do business with anybody else but us, we're cutting you off. Not a good tweet. I forget the guy's name. What's interesting is the CEO of Rocket and the CEO of UWMC both went to Michigan State, I think it was, or University of Michigan, one of the two. And one of them paid for rights to the arena so that every time there's a game on, Rocket Mortgage is mentioned or something like that. It was funny. I read that in a thread. I think it was yesterday or Friday, one of the two. So definitely some good stuff there. So looking at the futures market right now, again, it looks like it at least opened to the plus side, but very, very small volume. Sellers a little bit more buyers than sellers, but we're coming down just a little tad here on the NASDAQ E-mini futures. On the S&P mini futures, still up 4 points, and on the Dow futures are up 81, which is good, 0.25%. So I'd like to see the Dow futures before the market opens tomorrow morning up 100. I would like to see the S&P futures up maybe, I don't know, 15 points, 15, 25 points. If we get 25, that's going to be 1%. So I'd like to see them up 25. And then I would like to see about, let's see, maybe 50. So, maybe 10 or 11. Yeah. Let's see here, 15 divided into, yeah, so maybe 150 points. Oh, that'd be great. If we got 150, let's see, 150 divided into 930 would be 1%. So if we can get 150 points on the NASDAQ to the upside, if we can get, call it 15 points on the S&P 500 futures, and if we can get 100 points on the Dow, I would love to get 100 points on the Dow. If we get 100 points on the Dow, we're sitting at a nice day overall. But again, oil stocks, value stocks doing well, financials doing very well, tech, some of it doing well, some of it not so much. I know that we had the rest of the rest. We had Roblox had a nice run on their IPO last week where they were but trading back down to 69, but they peaked out at $77 a share. Yeah, $77 a share. And then we had Tesla trading down only 5 points, which was considered a win because they were down quite a bit on Friday. And then Nvidia battled back and they closed above, where's it at here? Oh, let me go up, sorry. Nvidia, they closed down only 5 points, so about 1% or so. They closed down over on Friday as well, but they were down like 20. So they were down, they were down like 503. Yeah, so they were down 20 points on Friday, bounced back, topped out at about 515, and finished down 5 points on the day. More importantly, the battle for them was 500. It exceeded that. So that if you take 14, divide that into 500, 3%. So 3%, they beat the options shorts on Friday, being over 500. So that was good. So that was good for them as well. Let's see here. Let's see if I had anything else going on here. Nope. Okay. All right. So let me take another quick look here. So again, let's go back to the futures market and let's take a look at the NASDAQ futures market. Again, so we're up 12.7 or 1575 right now, about 0.12%. So that looks pretty good because we like that. And let's see what else we got here. Somebody around us says, hey, if we donated a couple $100,000 to the Gorilla Fund, could we set up a stipulation that the Ellen I'll just call it D part gets cut out? Kind of feels like looking at a skid mark on the Mona Lisa. So here's one Gorilla Fund challenge over on Reddit. So good news is my son and I bought one. Nice. Bad news is my daughter who is 6 bought a dolphin, so one more down, but had to add a dolphin into the mix. Good for you. Way to go on that. Do it, give 8 bananas. So good stuff there. This is the way. Let's see what one person says. Some hodl. I just like the stock. What a champion. I'll definitely donate anything I can. Well done, sir. Will you buy some moon juice on the moon? Godspeed, you retard. Nice. Somebody says, why Ellen DeGeneres? She just named it. She donated enough money to get her name on something. Don't get hung up on the Ellen DeGeneres thing. It's more important to give than whose name is on the door, because it's what they do with the funds once they have the money. Okay, so don't get too hung up on that. And again, it doesn't have to be this fund. Go pick something else. If you don't like Ellen DeGeneres, good for you. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to give an opinion either way, but go find something else. Go give to a veterans organization. Go give to the homeless. Go give to a church, synagogue, or mass. Go give to a food bank. Go give to your neighbor who you know is struggling and they're out of work. Go give to something else that you could do. Godzilla versus King Kong comes out on 3/31. There we go. I just emailed AMC at Investor Relations and threw out an idea about donating a percentage of ticket sales to the Diane Fossey Gorilla Fund. That's fantastic. Why not? Worth a shot. When I get off stream, I'll answer some of these individually. But what's his name? After Made of After, I think something like that is his name over on Reddit. But he said Godzilla vs. Kong comes out on March 31st. I just emailed AMC at Investor Relations at amctheaters.com and threw an idea about donating a percentage of ticket sales to the Diane Fossey Gorilla Fund. Why not? Worth a shot. That is a great idea. I love this. Let's make sure those gorillas have plenty of crayons to eat. We may not have crayons here. However, this retard with bananas does have an entire box, if you can see the name up there, of Crayola markers, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe most of those look towards the green scale. So I think so. That's just my opinion. But that's what we look at. That's what we look at here on the channel. So this is the Catnip Lounge. Okay, thanks for the mod thing. Here's one. You are not only a smart but also a generous ape. Bananas. You, Mr. Ape, got the whole package. Thank you. Hold your shares. Yimbambe. So Yimbambe, that might be the gorilla that they adopted. Good stuff there. And there we go. So good stuff there over on Reddit. If you're over there in those streams, again, I'll answer all those if you're popping in here just to see what's going on with the stream. But I stream every day, a half hour before the market for 2.5 hours, and an hour and a half before the close, we stream as well. And we'll be putting up some educational videos as well also. So nice little jump here. Back on the NASDAQ futures, that's going well. So all three futures are up. The S&P 500 futures is up 3. NASDAQ futures are up 16.5. And the Dow futures are up 66 points right now. So, but it got up to 37,772. So, whoops, where are we at here? 32,772 minus 32,729 equals plus 66. So we were up over, the Dow futures were up over 109. So 109 points. Like I said, I'd like to see them open up the markets tomorrow morning, up 100 points or so. About 15 on the S&P and about 25 on the, or 150 on the, 100 on Dow, 15 on the S&P, and 25 on the NASDAQ would be a very, very nice open, I think, because as the markets open, people will be placing market on open orders again. Careful with buying stuff on using market orders. Learn what a limit order is and set a price, or watch what happens right after the open. Most markets tend to spike based on everybody that has market orders in, then they pull back just a little bit before they take off again. So if you want to wait for that little dip, you can. If you're comfortable with it going like this, and then this, that's up to you. It's your money. Don't do what I do. You'll lose 100% because this is neither financial or tax advice. Consult your tax professional or advisor. I'm not one. I'm just some guy on the internet. Okay. All right. So I think we are just about done here. Unless anybody either over on Twitch or YouTube has a question, we're going to finish up the stream here. We're going right about an hour and a half or so. But looking good. Again, in the bottom of your screen, you have the S&P 500 futures. Those are up 2.5. We have the NASDAQ futures are now up 12. And then we have the Dow futures, which are up 70 points. So we'll have the futures listed here before the open, a half hour before the open, to see what they're doing beforehand. And I'll take a look after the stream here, and I'll see what it costs me to get the non-delayed futures, because I do want to get those, and it might just be a few bucks a month, so I'll probably just add that onto my subscription that I'm already paying. Okay. If you're on here, if you're wondering about the trading software I use TradingView, and so I have a premium subscription with them that I pay for, and I always and so it runs, I think normally it's like $500 a year, something like that, but I'll put a link in the chat there, and if you want to, you can start out on a free plan, and you can look at charts too, and you can put indicators on there and start to play around. They also do a paper trading account, so you can take a look at paper trading on there, and you can say, hey, put $100,000 in my trading account and practice. Pick a stock and buy it using a paper trading account, and then sell it using a paper trading account, and do it for a day, a week, a month, a year, until you get comfortable doing what you're doing. But the only thing is, you're getting right at what the price is at that moment. So you're not necessarily having to pick a price. You can do orders and things like that and put limits on them and see what the stock is doing. But that's an idea that you can have, and that you can do for free, again, on TradingView, and there's a link in the bottom there as well. And I'll end up putting those in the descriptions as well. Again, we've just been doing this for 2 weeks, and so we're starting our 3rd week tomorrow. So there's that. All right, let's see here. Okay, so anybody have any other questions or anything else like that? Otherwise, I think we're going to take care of it for today. Let me just double check one more thing, and let me hit my notey. And let's see. All right, nope, just good stuff there. So, all right, cool. All right, that's going to do it for today. So one last look. We have the S&P futures have opened up. They're up 3 points. The NASDAQ futures are up 14.5, and the Dow futures are now up 79, leading at least initially to hopefully a green day starting tomorrow. But we'll see what happens. Again, the futures markets are open. You can watch those, and we'll look for green. We'll look for some green. We'll have those live for you a half hour before the market opens. Until then, thank you very much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate y'all. Hit a follow, give me a like, make a comment over on YouTube if you're seeing that, not in the chat, but down below. And that helps with the algorithms to lead other people as well, because we want to basically help some people out here. So with that, thanks for tuning in. Have yourself a great weekend. We'll see you tomorrow morning a half hour before you close. I'm Crypto Sonar. Have a great day.